Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we'll know about this history of Canada. This history of Canada and covers and period from the arrive fellow and Indians North America thousands of years to Egon presented Euro European and colonization the lands on and co-pressing and present day Canada were the inhabited of millenary by in indigenous people with distinct and trade network and spiritual and the belief flights and the styles and social organizations. Some of those and civilization had long and fade uh, by the time for European arrives and have been and discovered through an archaeological investigation from the late 15th century. Frances of British and expedition of explored and colonized two-fourths of our bias place with the North America in part and constituents and present day Canada. The colony of New France was acclaimed in 1534. The permanent settlements of beginning in 1608 and Francis catered nearly all its North American and positions to the United Kingdom in 1763 at Treaty of Paris after the Seven Years' War, and the no British and province of the Quebec was divided into the Upper and Lower Canada in 1791. The two provinces were the united as the province of Canada by the Act of Union 1840, which came into the force in 1841. In 1867, a province of Canada was joined with the British and colonies of New and Brunswick and Nova and Societa through and confederations forming as self and governing entity, and Canada was adopted as a legal name of the country and the world and domain the conference country and title. Over the next 82 years, Canada expanded the incorporating other parts and British and North America and finishing with the Newfoundland and Labrador in 1949. Although and responsible government had existed in British and North America since 1848, and Britain continued to state the foreign and defense policies and until the end at the First World War. The passing of statute of the Westminster in the 1931 and recognized that Canada had become the co-equal with the United Kingdom. The partition of the Constitution within 1982 and marked the removal of legal defense on the British Parliament. Canada currently consists of the province and three and territories and is and parliamentary and democracy and constitutional monocracy over countries and elements of indigenous Frances and British and more recent and immigrant custom have and combined towards Canadian culture that also and strongly influenced by in legals, geographics and economics and navy over the United States, and since that the Second World War and Canadians have supported above the social economics and development, archaeological and indigenous and genetics and evidence and indicated that North-South America we are the continent and into the human and migrated during to the Union Zone delegation 50,000 50,000 and 17,000 ago, filling the sea and levels allowed the people to move and gradually approach the bring and land bridge and bring from Siberia into the northwest America. At the point they were blocked, we are the ice, street and covered most of Canada, at confining them. Alaska and the Yukon is thousands of years. The act changed and throughout the peopling out the Americas are the subject of ongoing debate. By 16,000 ago, and glacial and melt allowed the people to move by land south and Yellow and Bargeria of Canada. The Hadia Isles and islands are old flow and plates, and the blue fish and caves and contained some on the earliest and fellow Indian and archaeological sites in Canada. Ice Age and Hunter and great triads of this and period, the lithic and plague and faulted stone stools, and the remains of large and birds head and mammals. The North American climate established around the 80,000 BSC on 10,000 years ago, and climate conditions were the similar to modern patterns. However, through the rechargings and geological ice and stretch and still and covered the large and portions of the land and creating lakes and the melt water and most population growth during the Eric periods were still highly mobile hunter and great yards. However, individual groups and started to the force and resource available the locally those and passes of time. They are the pattern increasing regional generalization fellow of Arctic and Plano and Maritimes and Arabic and Chinese the world land and culture period that from about 2000 BSC to 1000 CU and applied to Ontario Quebec and Maritimes and regains to the introduction of property. Uh, the old land culture from the previous active stage and inhabitants the Laurentine and related people and Ontario of manufactured the oldest property and active the to date in Canada. The hopeful and tradition is an indigenous culture and flourishing of along the America and rivers. 300 BSC to 500 CU at its and greatest extent, the hoop oil and exchange system connected culture and societies to the peoples. One Canadian shores a lake and Ontario and Canadian expression to the hope oilian peoples and copy passes the point and peninsula and Sogayon and Laurel complex. The eastern and old areas of that became Canada. We are home at the Algonian and Ecuadorian peoples. The Algonian language is believed to have the organized it into the Western and Plateau, whole Idaho or Earth Plains and Montana, and moved with and mites and eastward, and eventually extending in virus and manifestation all the way from Hudson by two what is today Nova Squid the more east and the far southeast and trader water and regain the Virginia speakers of Eastern Agglenic language which include the Mi Khunk and Abenaki Urdu and maritime region of Canada and likely the extinct Bithok and plagues from the sea and likely ethnic and according to tradition. Two Ozivo farm and council three fires in 1796 CU and with Odua and Potua Watami the five nations and hundreds sound. We are the centered and from and last 1000 COI and North New York, and but in Poland the extend into that New and Southern Ontario and Montreal modern Quebec with the spoke and barriers to language. And thus, Korea's confederacy, according to tradition, was formed and 1142 CU. In addition, there were other and speaking in peoples in the area, and including the state and Lawrence, the area and others. One, the Great Plains, the Cree and who spoke a closely related and central language. The Plains and Cree language depended to the herds and bisons to supply foods and many their needs to the northeast, and we are the peoples of the Nani language, which is the after Pakistan were speaking and people of the Chinese and who lived the Iceland of southern Alaska and northern British Columbia with the Chinese language with the groups and believed to be linked to the Yanisian language with Syria with the Chinese to western and Arabic of May and representative distinct with the migration from Asia to North America. The interior of British of Columbia was home and Salesians language and groups such as the South and Okanagan and Southern and a population such as the Hadia and Kaukia, Oaxaca and Nauka and stranded were the regions and abundant salmons and shellfish. Those peoples and developed complex culture and defended Western. The leader and included the women at the house and recording the violent war and frozen especially kept and food items and tomb clothes. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. Goodbye.